Greetings, my little guzzlers. We're going to do some baking. We're going to make something that's a bit of a Marmite thing. Some people love them, some people hate them. We're going to make Jaffa Cakes. Okay, now Jaffa Cakes is a sort of biscuity, cakey thing. They're called cakes, but some people argue it's more of a biscuit, and it's got a little sort of zingy orange centre covered in chocolate. So we're going to have a go at making some of them. Okay, so I've got most of my ingredients ready. Let's get baking. I'm going to use some oranges to start with. Now, I've found some recipes, people do it, and what they do is they actually get some zest and they leave the zest in, but I'm going to zest this orange. Well, I'm going to zest both of them. I'm going to zest it into the bowl where I'm going to make up my it's a neat little thing, this. I bought this the other day. I haven't used it yet, a little zester. It's a lot easier to use than that little grater I used to use. Just that you end up with bigger bits. Anyway, I'm going to put the zest into the bowl where I'm going to make up this orange jelly, but I'm going to filter it all out because I know a lot of people don't like it. It's like we're going to be adding some marmalade, and there's some weird people out there who don't like marmalade with bits in. What's wrong with you women? But what's wrong with you people? I said women then, sorry, I meant people. So people who have strawberry raspberry jam with the pips in it. Not saying not right for some people, is there? So I'm going to zest these, and then I'm going to extract the juice, and I want to measure out the amount of juice I get, because we want up to 300 mils. I'm making about 24 Jaffa Cakes, by the way. We want 300 mils of boiling water to melt down our jelly cubes, but if I then add in the orange juice, that's going to be too much liquid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out how much orange juice I've got, and then I'm going to extract that amount from 300, but you'll see when we come to it. So for the moment, I've got the zest in the bowl. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to juice these. I'm going to do it through a strainer so we don't get all the bits in. Right, so I've got about just under 150 mils of juice out. I did an orange and a half. I've got the zest in there. Now I've got the proper marmalade with bits in. Okay, and we're going to put approximately quite a big bit, 3 tablespoons of marmalade into there, and then we're going to use 2 packs of orange jelly. Okay, which just obviously just tear all up, add in there. Used to like eating this as a kid. If we were lucky, we were given these. We could have a few cubes like this when my mum was making jelly. So I'm going to add, like I say, 2 packs to that, and then my hands all sticking out. I have to watch my hands. I'm going to add that, and then we're going to dissolve that up in about 150 mils of boiling water. So I've added my water. I'm just going to stir this until all them jelly cubes all melted in, and then I'm going to add in the orange juice to make up the right amount of liquid. Now what I've got prepared is a nice shallow tray. I've covered it in cling film, and we're going to be pouring the jelly into that, and then it will go into the fridge where it should set in about an hour. Okay, and the idea being we've got just a thin layer that we can then cut our little circles to go inside our cakes. Now we're going to use like a cupcake tin to make our little cakey biscuity bases. Okay, so when we cut our little circles of jelly, it obviously wants to be smaller than the biscuit bit. All right, so I'm just going to get this dissolved up. Just get in there slowly. So, excuse me. So that's all melted down. Now, like I said, some people don't like the zest and things like that in it. So all we're going to do is I'm just going to sieve this into my jug, get rid of all the bits. Okay, you could leave it in if you like, but like I say, some people just don't like them bits in it. So I'm just going to sieve that off, and then we'll get pouring the jelly. So there's my tray that I've just lined with cling film, just to make it a little bit easier to get them out of the pan, as it were. So I'm just going to pour that into there. Okay, like I say, this will make about, or should make about 24 Jaffa Cakes. I might have to gauge the size of my jelly bits if I'm going to get 24 out of that. So that is now going to go in the fridge, where hopefully in about an hour that should have set. Now in the meantime, we can get on and make the other bits. Okay, we just need to wait until that's nicely set before obviously we can crack on and assemble the final thing. And we're also going to be needing to temper a bit of chocolate, but we'll cover all that later on. So for making the biscuity bit, what we're going to need is a little bain-marie. So I've got one here. Okay, I've got the water up temperature. Obviously, like always with this sort of thing, you don't want the water touching the bowl. So in there I've got 100 grams of caster sugar, and I'm going to put into that 4 eggs. Okay, 4 whole eggs. And then what we're going to do is we're now just going to whisk them together for about 5 minutes. So I've removed it from the heat, they've had a good whisking, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to whisk in that flour. Now I've got some bun tins behind me. They need to be lightly buttered, just so obviously this thing don't stick. So I'm just going to get this all mixed in together. So there you go, I've lightly buttered these bun tins, and what I'm going to do is pour in approximately a tablespoon into each one. Okay, because these, you know, we're not making cupcakes, we're just making this thin little disc. Okay, and obviously these will rise up a little bit as well. So once we've got that all in there, we'll be looking at going into the oven at 190. Okay, probably about 8 to 10 minutes. We don't want them too brown. Okay, we just obviously want them cooked, and they will be sort of a bit more like a biscuit than like a cupcake. They shouldn't be quite as fluffy as a cupcake. So let me just get the rest of these all poured, and then they'll go in the oven, and then we can hopefully think about starting to assemble it all. So that's my Jaffa Cake bottoms out of the oven. Excuse me. Right, there's the first batch, so you can see not too gold, not too brown, just to get a nice little golden colour to it, if you like. So just going to let these out to cool, and then like I say, it will be cutting the little circles of jelly when it's all set, put in the middle, tempering a bit of chocolate and coating the top with chocolate. So, but we need to let all this cool first. So my jelly is now nicely set. I was a bit worried I wouldn't have enough, but as it happens, given the size of these, most of them are going to have to have quite a small disc. I think some of them, I could perhaps make it slightly bigger. Actually, what I might do is I might cut a selection, because I've got some that are slightly wider. So all I do is I'm just going to go and lightly press out. I think we might be having a bit of jelly later. So I'll lightly press some of these out, and then I can lift out one of the little discs, and what I want to do is just put it centre onto the little spongy cakey bit. Got a bit of jelly now. So I'm just going to go through and cut out enough so that each Jaffa Cake base has got that orangey jelly bit. And then we might actually have a little taste of that jelly, just see how orangey and tangy it is. Here we go, let's try this jelly out. It's slightly sweet, definitely taste the orange. Not quite got the same zing as perhaps a Jaffa cake, but still very nice. So each one has now got the jelly centre, and what we're now going to do is we're just going to melt down some chocolate, we temper it, and then we're going to coat the top of them. Right, my chocolate's to the right temperature. So what we're going to do now is basically we're going to pour chocolate over the top of each one, okay, so that we coat all of that jelly in the chocolate and all the top surface of the bun, as it were. So I'm just going to make sure they're all covered. That's the Jaffa cakes all coated with chocolate. Now what we're going to do is just let it set. What I might do is check on it when it's getting close to setting, and perhaps put a few little lines on top with some tines of a fork, because I think Jaffa cakes have that funny little pattern. I can't remember, to be honest. But we obviously don't want to be using them at the moment, far too wet, so we're just going to leave these, like I say, to set, and then we'll try them on. Right, so still got some to plate up yet, but there you go, there they are. And what I've done here, I've carefully sliced one in half. I don't know how well you can see, but there is a definite orangey bit in there just under the chocolate. Like I say, it hasn't got that true orangey or citrusy tang that perhaps you might recognise in a Jaffa cake, but you definitely get that sort of chewy-ish jelly with a quite, you know, a nice strong orange flavour. The biscuity bit, or cake, it's a cake, Jaffa cake, it's different to a Jaffa cake. I'm trying to think what it reminds me of. In one way it's a little bit more chewy than that, but for those who perhaps don't like the orangey bit in a Jaffa cake, they might actually like these. Not that many people can get a chance to try them, because I think I might be trying most of these. The wife probably have one. I might let her. So there you go, homemade Jaffa cakes.